78 is finally coming apart, and it's seen its final days on the road. Last time I took this car out, I did a little farewell video to it, ran it up and down the street pretty hard, did some tire burning with it, so check out the last video on this car. A couple of people have commented over the past several videos that I've had on this car throughout my channel, and just asking me, why am I parting this car out? It really doesn't look that bad. You should fix it up. I should sell it. So what I wanted to do is just take a video of what the car looks like now. Kind of a close-up video of its bad areas, which there's plenty of, which you'll see in a minute, and basically just what I've been selling off the car. So actually just today I sold the header panel off the car. I have an ad on Craigslist right now parting this thing out. So sold the header panel, I sold the headlight bezels and grills out of the header panel. I got the fan shroud, also fan clutch, pulled the windshield trim off of it, the hood trim, or the cowl trim, the hood trim. There's a guy coming over to buy that stuff tonight. So what else did I pull off this thing? I pulled the windshield trim off of it. I've pulled the rear window trim off of it. I've pulled the trunk trim off of it. That's all been sold. Pulled the wheel well trim off of it on the passenger side, because that was pretty much the only good side. So a guy bought that. So a little bit here and there, the car's going away. So, oh, and also the wheels. There's a guy interested in the wheels and potentially the bucket seats. Bucket seats are kind of ratty, but they can be recovered. I guess they're a good frame. All right, well, this is what I want to do is just kind of walk around the car and show the flaws of this car and show you exactly why this car is being parted out. Quick history behind this car. The guy built the car back in the mid-90s. I have a video talking about the story about this car, the history that I have with this car. So check that video out if you want to hear the story behind it. But basically, the guy who built this car built it in the mid-90s. He died about a year or two after he built this car. And his wife sold the car to a guy who then just let it sit for about 8 or 9 years under a tree. And that's really what did it in. All the tree shit falling on it really took a toll on this car, and it was sitting on grass too, which really rotted the undercarriage of this car out. So quickly walk around this thing and I'll show you exactly what it looks like now. I've got keys in my hand. Well, the trunk lid is just filled with body filler. It's bubbling right here. Oh, and in the last video I mentioned there's a bunch of couple 100 pounds of sheet metal and scrap in the trunk of this thing. Well, here's what's in the back. So that's why the car didn't spin the tires all that well in it. But I got a wheel back here, I have axles, I have an old snowblower back here, I have brake drums, I have a radiator, I have the subframe to my Cavalier in here. All sorts of metal I've just been thrown in here, just filling it up, because obviously you get money for scrap. So when I junk this car, I'm just throwing everything I can in this thing. I'm going to fill up the interior. I have a bunch of scrap, so I'll get some money for that. So yeah, and this rear end housing sitting here as well. I got the inner well out of my 84. That's all going inside the car. So here's the trunk lid. The trunk lid is completely rotted out. It's just crumbling. There's a hole right here. Stick my finger through it. So the trunk lid's gone. This entire back section back here is through, because it had all sorts of leaves sitting in it. It's got moss growing in it just from the car sitting. So that whole back section there is rusted out. Water goes into the trunk. The trunk floor is rusted out. You obviously can't see that because it's filled with scrap. All right, I'm going to hijack my own video here for a second. As I was editing the video for this car here, I had a message from one of my viewers. His name is Up and Away, and he is interested in the taillight bezels here. So if anyone is interested in any parts that are left on this car, because this video does show the parts that are remaining, and I'll let you know if they're still available or if I'm just keeping them for myself, shoot me a note. So I told him I'd make a video of these taillight bezels just to show their condition. Overall, I mentioned that they were painted. You can see that the chrome is showing through, so you can strip the paint off. It doesn't appear that they were sanded. So go ahead and strip the paint. The chrome may be in good condition underneath, or you can get these re-chromed. They're plastic, but they do re-chrome plastic. there's the crack right there on the mount. It's not cracked completely through, down to the bottom, so completely fixable. So that's the driver's side, and the passenger side overall appears to be in good shape. I don't believe there are any cracks or breaks in this one. All the mounts look to be in good shape. So like I said, anyone needs any parts, go ahead and shoot me a note. Back to your regularly scheduled video. Quarter panels. This car was filled with Bondo at one point. You can see a nice layer of Bondo. Got an 1/8 inch thick Bondo. Quarter panels are completely loose on it. Amazingly, the frame is good on this car. So I'm going to sell the frame rails off of it, but there's what the inner wheel looks like. That's what both inner wheels look like. And they were also filled at one point with body filler. So this car was rusted even back in the mid-90s. So it really wasn't the greatest, slate to build, but the guy obviously liked the car. There's all the body filler in the inner wells. The guy liked the car, so he put his money into it. It's rotted there. It's rotted all along the bottom here. The doors aren't the worst, aren't the greatest, but you can tell this bottom seam has been filled at one point. But there's actually a guy who's interested in these doors, believe it or not, so I told him to make me an offer. Here's what the door jamb looks like. Here's what the door jamb. I don't know if I can stick a key through this. There you go. I can stick the key right through it. So that's the A-pillar, completely rotted. This is what the floor looks like. Let me stick my hand underneath here. Oh, the catalytic converter's in the way. There we go. Carpet's moving. The floor is completely gone. Both sides are gone. Even the rears are gone. Door's still open and closed nice though. The A-pillars are completely rusted out. Gone. The roof channel is rotted. I can lift up half the skin of the roof. Let me walk around to the other side. I'll show you the hood as well. I don't even have to open it up. The entire inner structure is completely gone. So here's what the hood looks like. You can see right inside of it. What the hell, I'll open it up. This is the reason why I bought the car. It's got a 403 in it with a turbo 350 tranny, which is actually a fresh motor. There's the hood, completely rotted out. Core support's rusted through. I mean, this car just crumbles to nothing. The core support's loose on the frame because the body mounts. There's a body mount right here. Just pull it right out. Body mount's gone. Both sides are like that. The front and rear bumpers are already sold on the car. I just got to take them off. Here's the driver's fender. The ball joint broke on this side. The tire went into the fender and then hit the door a little bit. Here's what the roof channel looks like. Completely rusted out all the way across the top. You can push the windshield almost out of this thing. So the windshield obviously was leaking for a while and rusted out the floor, made the interior all rotten, moldy. Here's what the floor looks like on the driver's side. Swiss cheese. It's a mess. This car's an absolute mess. See, look at it. You can see right through. You can see right through where the lower body is rotted out, right into the ground, right in the door jamb. So it's rotted all along this lower door hinge where the fender mounts. Door jamb's rotted right here. It's all flaky and just coming apart. You can see all the Bondo just cracking. Right there, it's cracking. It's bulging out. It's pushing the chrome. See, look at that. It's pushing the chrome right off the car. And then this rear quarter. I mean, it's history. So this is the reason. This is the condition of the car. This is the reason why it's getting parted. So it's, I mean, it's giving some people who have these cars and need parts, it's a good source of parts. So it's not like it's completely going away. It's living on in many different ways on many different cars. So I already have, what, 3 different people buying parts off this car right now, and I myself is the 4th. So that's the current condition of the 78, and every time I show this car, it's going to be less and less. Classic G-Body signing out.